Hey y'all, hey, it's your sugar here, and yes, it's way past go time. I know, but guess what? You're gonna have to bear with me, right? Y'all know what the word is. Sugar's out up here in the mountains. You know how I do it on a mountain by a fountain. You know what I'm saying? We can get with it anywhere. How we do it, okay? So I'm up here. I'm always extending myself. So I'm learning. I'm doing some tactical training, that real stuff. So I'm up here with some of the baddest mofos in the world, seeing how I fare and how long I last. And I'm lasting up in this Bix, y'all. Okay. So excited about how I'm progressing with what I'm learning. But let's talk this women's boxing thing, okay? Now, as you can see, you know what I'm saying, like the aesthetic is real, right? I gotta get down, and it ain't about the fluff. But what I can tune in on, we're going to talk about tonight, okay? So, my lovely assistant, my guys, they follow, they up here with me. You know what I'm saying? The mountain in the mountains, and goodness, I hate to say this. I think her name is Machido. Just beat Eben Bridges. And I want to start off with this image because I just think it's adorable. We have they say that, she upset Ebony Bridges, but was it an upset? I mean, this fighter out of Japan, she had some experience under her belt. I think she had more fights than Ebony, something like more, a little over 17 fights or up to 17 fights, something like that. And Ebony just getting out the gate. Like, people love her and everything like that, but I don't know. Do y'all love her as a fighter, or do y'all love the entertainer that Ebony Bridges is, right? Like, I mean, she ain't doing nothing new out here, and showing up to the weigh-ins, in her naughty girl outfits and all of that stuff. But at the end of the day, Sugar always says this: your ass got to know how to fight, okay? And so she stepped to, well, she took the challenge, or this fight went down, and Ebony ended up losing her title to, you guys, help me out here. I don't have my notes in front of me, but I think it's Miyoshu or something like that. Y'all know I'll lovingly screw up somebody's name, but it doesn't take the victory away from her. Like I said, I think this image is adorable. Why? Because I identify with this champion. Even though, I like Ebony too, I like her as an entertainer, but I respect a fighter who has um, has a bit of a journey. You know what I'm saying? And this fighter here has a bit of a journey. You can see that journey right next to her. It's tough being a mom. It's tough being a mother doing this. And to be a mother and having the nerve to fly across the pond, some like 12 hours difference, and come beat the champion in her home country. I mean, that's quite a feat. And this young lady here can boast and say, my mom did that. And I mean, that is just, to me, that's the championship right there. That's what a woman's woman wants to show. She wants to. These are the legacies that we want to leave. Um, as women boxers, for not just the younger generation of women boxers, even though they can be disrespectful most of the time, but for the young women who, you know, need motivation. Uh, okay, so Mio Yoshida now 16-4, so 16 wins, 4 losses, and is the IBF World Bantamweight Champion now. In snatching that shit off of Ebony Bridges. So I love that, and thank you guys for putting this across the screen. Like I said, just chiming in. I want to be here for my folks, my misfits that chime in, and I know my people out there, y'all were waiting on me. It took some time to get the internet up and get everything going up here in the mountains, but we doing this the best we can. We here though, it's a party every time we link up. Um, so like I said, young girls, young women, this is the motivation that they need, you know. 17-4, not 16-4. Typo, but I knew it was, y'all heard me say it from before, right? She had over 17 fights. So she had 17 victories, 4 losses. So I mean, this is like a fighter like this has the real struggle. She just fought Metcalf, Sharita Metcalf, last month, and lost, and then turned back around and fought again for a world championship. So they thought this was going to be loss number 5, and she said, "Nah, bitch, nah, bitches, I'm really bad out here. I really do this. I will really fly across here and snatch your belt, hoe." Oops. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, really, right? I don't know what Ebony thought, but Ebony looked like she was well trained. She didn't look as thickums as she did with the last fight. So I mean, I guess she knew what she was doing. But it's just a beautiful thing when now you're seeing other women champions take over the platform and show who they are in this world. And I think I did bad. I think she was on my list when I did my baddies all over the world. Um, my top 10 baddies of each country or something like that. I did a show. I think I might have mentioned her because she was in the rankings, but it was just me introducing you all to those who are not celebrities that are doing this too, that are ranked in the world. Okay. Have to put the spotlight on those fighters because I mean I was one, I was ranked uh, very highly, and but just couldn't get a fight, and just couldn't get any spotlight on me for just popularity sake. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't uh, I wasn't kissing the right cousins in a sense, right? So this is it. Um, So congratulations. Is it Yoshito, you guys? Congratulations, girl. You did that. And you did that with your daughter presently watching. And I just think that's more than a title. I think that's more than being a champion. That's a legacy. And we want to see more of these things, even though not all of the women in boxing right now, not all the champion celebrities are mothers, but it's good to see someone who's coming off of that path achieve such a great accomplishment. So here. Um, I don't know how long this show is going to be, you guys. Let me know what y'all think about this fight if y'all saw it. Um, what I saw of it is Yoshido controlled Ebony. People like to say close fight, and I hate when people say close fight because, I mean, what the hell are you looking at? When you say close fight, what are you looking at? Especially for women's boxing, people, these spectators, fan guys and fan gals, love to talk about some close fight, right? Uh, she was catching Ebony. She was well prepared. She was strong. She did show her dominance. It was just she took it. She took it off Ebony. Um, Now I'm hearing that they screaming some rematch, you know, talk. But I mean, it's up to the champ now whether she wants to entertain that or not. I think it, like I said, it's a great thing that she flew across the pond. And despite all the odds that we all, us women who journey, us journey women face, uh, she came out to be the victor on such a large platform. Okay, y'all, tell me what you think about this champion, and tell me what you think about this fight. Now, I was gonna go a bit more into detail too. I don't have the picture, but there's talks about, now y'all know Natasha Jonas is going to be fighting Michaela Meyer, and I'm sorry, I mean, somebody got to say, girl, Michaela looking like a whole different woman, don't she, with that weight on? I mean, not shaming her or anything, but you know what I'm saying? That thing, like she carrying it. And Natasha Jonas now, she's stepping up to the challenge, right? So they're um Michaela Meyer wants to challenge Natasha Jonas for her, is it her middleweight title? Because because I think the super welterweight 147 is not, Jonas does not have that title. It's that middleweight. But you guys correct me if I'm wrong. Like I said, I'm on this thing right now. We just talking, we're just having a conversation, right? Um, but Michaela Meyer is on that 3 minute yang that's out here, that's circulating out here. And rightfully so, Natasha Jonas said, okay, well, if you, hello, sorry about that, y'all. If you want to fight 3 minutes, then you got to pay me, girl. Right? So, okay, so they're fighting for the IBF World Welterweight title. So, welterweight would be 147. Okay, so they're fighting for that title. So, I guess Natasha is, did Natasha initially have that title? I thought she had middleweight. So, I thought she had 154. Does she have the 147 as well? Y'all keep update your girl. I mean, I know the game, but um right now these details are kind of okay. So my lovely assistant says that Natasha Jonas has the welterweight title as well. Okay, so Michaela Myers going after that welterweight title. And so Michaela Meyer wants to do it at 3 minutes. And I'm like, even so, like, so you want to step to me and got the nerve to try to up the minutes? Bitch, I got the title. But since you want to fight 3 minutes, I guess you got that 3 minute money. Because that's what Natasha's saying. Problem is, maybe. Sorry about that, y'all. Like I said, this is real. This the real Sugarverse, okay? um, so put that across. So the problem is Mayor is fighting in the death zone, Liverpool, with officials mostly from Boxing Board of Control. A. So wait a minute, who's this charming? Is this my lovely assist? Okay, all right. Now I'm seeing the thread. A women's boxing channel. I didn't see you that you chimed in. Mwah. Thank you, and thanks for hitting me up on the Twitter, in the Twitter verse too, right? Thank you. Like I said, y'all see like the listen the pew, listen, like anyway. Um, Sugar, y'all bear with Sugar, just like Women's Boxing Channel been bearing with me. R Scarf One, you were the one answering, saying welterweight, and so was Women's Boxing Channel. Thank you guys. Thank you for thank you for chiming in. All right, wait a minute. So where we at? Y'all had a whole ass conversation and they told me nothing. I'm gonna have to go back in the thread. Let's see. So hey, while you were waiting, take a look at this video. Can't look at the video Women's Boxing Channel, but I'm gonna check it out soon. So yes, Yoshida, Mio Yoshida is the one who we're looking at right now with the boxing fight. Somebody named Gibu came in and put some kind of emoji thing going on. Thanks for chiming in. Let me know what you think, or let me know if you have any question. Jibu or Gibu, Gebu, about women's boxing. Women's Boxing Channel comes in and says Bridges got found out. She had more rust than the Titanic and lost to a woman on 20 days notice. Right. So it was 20 days notice, Women's Boxing Channel, but I ain't even gonna lie. Yoshido was in there with the low key killer in Metcalf. Okay, don't sleep on Metcalf. All right. What I was saying is it's 20 days notice, but Yoshida was ready for that smoke. Okay, what it is Bridges them thought that, oh, because Metcalf beat her, that they was going to turn her into a journey woman and add another blemish to her record. But Yoshida said, nah, bitch, I can really fight out here. Okay, yeah, I can really fight, and Metcalf beat me because she really earned it, because she's probably one of the real monsters out here too, right? So you go and put some clothes on, okay? Put the titties, put the girls back up, and go in the gym and sweat it out and learn you how to really, really keep a title. That's what Yoshida said, and you know what? I agree. Now, Women's Boxing Channel says what 20-day notice is significant as styles make fights, and her style was totally wrong. Yoshida was taller with long levers, and Bridges failed embarrassingly. So that's what I'm saying. Yes, styles make fights at 20 days notice, but like I said, 20 days notice when you had just fought a killer last month, that just means, you know what? I got it. You know what I'm saying? If I was able to spin back and get a title like Yoshida, this was perfect for Yoshida to turn back around and get her W back off that L she got from Metcalf, right? Um, Styles make fights, and yes, like Yoshida, the style is that Yoshida can fight. She uses what she has. She could control Ebony. Ebony thought she could come in like a bull and bully. And she learned today, or she learned over the weekend, that yeah, ain't nobody scared of no bully, right? A bully can get controlled. So you learn you how to you learn you a strategy, okay? This isn't a fashion show. Your ass was too focused on being a Playboy bunny, a lingerie girl. Save that shit for onlys, because we come to fight, right? If you're gonna do anything like that, right? Because I've done risque stuff too, right? But you better be on your square if you gonna show up like you showing up, right? They want to make a big deal about how Ebony Bridges showed up and in the lingerie, but I'm sorry, y'all. Been there. That Kathy Collins Bonnie Canino, Sugar. Like we've done it, right? We've shown up. We've weighed in. Risque. You know what I'm saying? We've done what we did it, right? And so um you got to do a little more, Ebony. You got to do that, and you got to be whooping ass, right? Like how we used to do, right? So that JD Smith, Digi Artist, came in with a meme. I don't know what that meme looked like, baby, but thank you for chiming in tonight. Thank y'all for meeting up with Suge tonight. Um, Women's Boxing Channel says these fights, just like Sky Nicholson versus Lucy Wildheart, was another wrong matchup. Wildheart being ranked 31 pre-fight for a WBC interim. Really? Now, I didn't even want to talk about that, but let's talk about it. That was, I mean, what the thing that me and Women's Boxing Channel we always tussle about is like Women's Boxing Channel believes in these sanctioned titles, right? And me coming from the realistic side, and me coming from a time where these titles meant nothing. Your name that you made was everything, right? I'm a fighter who made my name wherever I went, and who, what I did. I wasn't one of those title fighters. There's fighters that have titles now, and the WBC and all of those WBO and all blah 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 blah. Now they're giving belts to women, and I mean, I guess that's an accomplishment, but that's just another bill to pay, if you ask me, right? I'm talking about when women boxers, we had our own belt. You know what I'm saying? We made our own rules. We had our own bodies that we fought. We had our own rankings. That was a beautiful time. That was a very real time, right? So now this Lucy Wildheart, um, because Wildheart fought somebody, and I think it was like short notice or something like that, and it wasn't very it it wasn't something that you want to go home and tell nobody about that fight. So this Lucy Wildheart, she ain't nobody. She needs a bit of help herself. I never saw her as a strong contender, and these matchmakers out here, they know that. So that's why she's that broad that gets matched up on this platform. Now they trying to push this Sky Nicholson, and I'm sorry, girl. Mm-mm. I'm not Sky. Um, I think there was one time she was trash talking. The other girl was like trying to like trash talk and go back and forth with her, and she wasn't even paying attention to what the girl was saying. She was like, "Oh, you're gonna do what to me? Like, we already we paid for rounds. We didn't pay for you to talk on some, this is orchestrated type shit." So like because of her how she carries herself, her swag as a contender, I'm not buying it, right? So I don't really care to talk about it. But saw the fight, seen better. That wasn't an interim WBC fight. It's like how are these broads getting on TV? How are they getting on these platforms? Really? Is this women's boxing? Y'all tell me. Are the real contenders fighting? Right? We still got Tara Brown out here just on the shelf, aging. You know what I'm saying? Like they hopping over heads. This new recipe, this new contender or whatever, how about we look at the contenders that are already names and already somebody in women's boxing, and bring them to the top, right? And so there can be a standard Um, then Natasha Bonus, okay. Um, Mayer would beat Natasha Jonas at 147 all day long. So women's boxing, you say Mayer would beat Natasha Jonas at 147 all day long. I mean, I got to see this because the thing about it is y'all sleep on Natasha Jonas. Y'all really do. I don't know why, but y'all sleep on the girl. Natasha Jonas is a very accomplished fighter. She was a highly accomplished amateur. She jumped what, like 3 weight classes as a pro, and you want to put Michaela Meyer, scary ass Disney princess ass Michaela Meyer, who didn't really, who who fought picked fights. You want to put Mayer to beat her? Mayer ain't got the grit, right? Mayer should have showed the grit versus Alicia Baumgardner. If Mayer, if Mayer could beat Natasha Jonas all day long, then Mayer should have beat Alicia Baumgardner, don't you think? Don't you think? Right? So we're not doing a celebrity popularity contest right now on Women's Boxing Channel. I mean, I seen uh Mayer, she got some weight on her now. She looking like a whole different broad, you know. Um, they've been doing the Photoshop, so her face on the poster. But I get it, You know what I'm saying? Um, but Natasha Jonas been consistent, don't y'all think? Like you got to give a champion credit where credit's due, right? Natasha Jonas says anybody can get it. Just give me my money, right? She's in it to not only make a name for herself, but she's a businesswoman, and I appreciate that. Um, Now, Women's Boxing Channel says Mayer is fighting in the death zone. Liverpool, uh, with the officials mainly from the British Boxing Board of Control. I mean, it is what it is. Who the yo? Who is Mayer? Who is Michaela Meyer? Who the fuck is Michaela Meyer? Since when she been somebody? It been a while since she been somebody, right? She ain't been champion in a while, right? After Alicia Baumgardner done had a whole ass career, done crashed and burned and everything. And Michaela Meyer, she's still stuck back where that was. She hasn't fought, and she hasn't fought any top contender since then. Right? So let's call a thing, right? So Mayer might think that Natasha Jonas is keeping the seat warm for her, but she needs to understand this. It ain't the same when you move up in weight. It ain't the same, right? So let's see. She may grow some pop. She may be in the gym now where she can put some size and she can put some muscle on her, because before, when she used to starve herself and her opponents to get the W, now she's fighting people who has the weight. So you know I'm interested. I am interested in that matchup. I want to see. I want to see them two go. We got a world class fighter in Natasha Jonas, and we have a top contender in Michaela Meyer. Okay. Um, Women Boxing Channel, man, you going to get off my girl neck talking about the blonde bomb out. You ain't gonna come on my show and troll people now, Women Boxing Channel. You better stop. Huh? Ebony learned Ebony learned. I seen a picture where she ate one of your should have gave her a knuckle sandwich. She ate that shit like, oh yeah, she thinking about that, right? She gotta lick her wounds and come back. Let's see, let's see what this does for Ebony Bridges. Um, Women's Boxing Channel says, R Scarf One comes in and says mayor. Okay. Women's Boxing Channel says, we know belts per se mean little due to padding, etc. But interim is meant to be the best versus best. Yet we see it used as a silver spoon. Sky versus a number 31 ranked fighter. R Scarf One comes in and says, it ain't even 31. Wildheart is rated 33 by BoxRec, while rated 3 by WBC. So now y'all are seeing now. Now we here. And I love it. It took a while, right? I think we're going on year number 2 with the Sugar Show for y'all to see, right? Ain't nothing but a phone call to these sanctioning bodies, right? But BoxRec, there's still some realness to BoxRec where they got her ranked at number 33, right? So what happened to everybody before 33? You know what I'm saying? Right? Fighting for an interim, for a whole ass belt title. This is what they're doing in women's boxing, and we have to stop it. We really do. I call any name on the list, right? It really took that. So you telling me 33 broads wasn't ready? 33 broads wasn't licking their chops for a chance at the title? Nah. 33 broads wasn't 33 broads wasn't vulnerable enough for the setup. And that's what we want to expose, right? That's what Sugar wants to expose. That's what Sugar wants to get rid of, because women's boxing is a wonderful thing. It really is, when the right broads get the chance, like the one that I'm pointing to right now, and others out there. So wait a minute. R Scarf One says she was ranked 33 before the fight, and now after she lost to Sky, she's now ranked 39. Okay. So R Scarf One says Mayer should have got the decision against Baumgartner. She won at least 6 rounds. Now, boo-boo, let me tell you something. When you fight a fighter like Baumgartner, you can't make it. It can't be like that. You got to whoop a fighter like Baumgartner's ass. That's the thing about women's boxing, right? This decision shit is a no-go. We don't do that. You got to know who you're fighting. Y'all like to put in, like, y'all think fighting is something where you put in the numbers and you see how it turns out. No. Fighting is, bitch, we going blow for blow, second for second, minute for minute. Bitch, this shit can change in a blink. Right? So I won 6 rounds. No, you gotta beat on a fighter like Alicia Baumgartner, right? And who knows, she was probably on that juicy juice then. I don't think so. I want to take it from her, but I mean, now she done shitted her bed and then everything. And we got to change the whole sheets, do everything, we ain't flipping the pillows or the mattress now. Like, everything got to we got to clean everything up, right? That's what happened when you shit the bed, right? So you in watching women's boxing, I like to say this: you can't watch women's boxing like you watch men's boxing. You got to look at it for what it is. 2 women behaving badly. 2 women behaving badly, right? And one bitch got to be in control, right? And it's either the one who's behaving the baddest is in control, or the one who's controlling the badness is in control, and you determine that. It's not about points. We want to get away from that amateur bullshit that has riddled women's boxing for the last since the Road Runner slash track star slash boxer hybrid started boxing, right? Love her to death. She's the darling, right? She just won. She just beat Chantel Cameron. Now I'll tell you this, right? Love that we can get to talk about this. Hate that I don't have my images and stuff together because, like I said, sugar's in the mountains. I got to do what I got to do. But she did what I'm telling you, Michaela Meyer. Katie Taylor did to Chantel Cameron what Michaela Meyer should have did to Alicia Baumgardner. She beat her the fuck up. I mean, she beat her up, meaning that at the end of the fight, Chantel, you may have been the bigger and the stronger one, but you look busted up. You look bruised. You look like hands got put on you, right? And that's all Katie Taylor needed to win and get her title back or get her title, right? And so that's the art. That's the art. You got to whoop ass. Whooping ass ain't about points. Whooping ass is, what's wrong with you? You see your ass getting your ass whooped. You finna lose or you lost it. You lost that. I seen that you got hands put on you. Right now, there can be majority decisions and things like that. But when you're women's boxing, that's why I love my sport. I love women's boxing. It is still very archaic in that sense, right? And we still need that in order to keep our substance in women's boxing, right? The men, they can do what they do, right? But it's still more so about women behaving badly. And in doing that, in behaving badly now, what we want more strategies. We want more setups. We want more mind going on, right? We want to bring that into the equation of women's boxing. We want to get rid of these blown up shenanigans. That's what's happening right now. The okey doke, the evolved okey doke, setting people up. You lost last month. Okay, so you lose this month too. Oh, you got knocked out. Oh, you should be resting your brain. Oh no, we'll fly you over so you could come over here and possibly die. Like, we want to get rid of shit like that, right? We want real contenders to fight to get the title shots. We want champions to have some substance about them and really be able to beat most of these baddies that step on their porch, right? You don't have to be perfect, but you got to know how to hand somebody a ass whooping, a beat down, right? Because that's what it is, women behaving badly. Now, Women's Boxing Channel says Mayer should have shown grit versus Baumgardner. Really? Against a full-blown testosterone ped cheat, she was in there with a virtual man. Mayer showed her grit. Women's Boxing Channel, you're reaching a bit much, okay? Who's to say that Mayer ass ain't on the juice? Her hard face looking ass. Let's call a thing a thing. We're not gonna go there. You ain't going and not the other. You see what I'm saying? As far as I'm concerned, now that they're not testing, all of these broads are on it. Right? Because people are ignoring people. Like I said it. You were there when I said it on the show. Oh, Baumgardner looking kind of roidy, roidish, right? And people came for me, and then it ended up with she was on it, right? Well, guess what? Um, some of them other broads do too. I don't want to say no names. I'm not going to say. I'm not going to. I, when it's appropriate, right? I'll bring that one up. But Mayor was in there with basically a man. Give me a break, right? Mayor, if it was a close 6 rounds, that means her ass could have done better, right? If she won six, if y'all think she won 6 rounds versus this man, this PED man, then she could have done better, right? Pick a side, pick a side, right? She wasn't getting beaten from post to post. She was just being a little punk ass in the fight. And I give it to Alicia Baumgardner. She showed that Michaela Meyer really ain't got the heart. They really didn't have the heart that they were putting her in position to have. Right? You have all these titles, and when it come down to gritting your teeth and winning a damn fight, you didn't have the heart to do it. And that's what Alicia Baumgardner exposed with Michaela Meyer. So Michaela Myers stepping up to Natasha Jonas, who also is another one who will grit her damn teeth and pick around and win a fight. So let's see how this one goes. Right? That's what I want to say. Men's boxing saying Mayer beat Mavia Hamadouche for goodness sake. Hamadouche was a top contender. Yeah. I don't think Mayer beat Mavia Hamadouche. I don't. I don't think she beat her, right? But Mavia Hamadouche didn't box Mayer. So she was there. But Michaela, just because Michaela Meyer, stood in there, doesn't mean Hamadouche didn't beat her up. She got beat up by Hamadouche in that fight. And I low-key think Hamadouche won that fight where it should have been a draw, right? But let's check in on Hamadouche. What's she been doing lately? Where's she at? Right? Because after such a great fight, because that was a good fight, this happens to great contenders, right? Hamadou should have fought Alicia Baumgardner. Wouldn't you? Don't y'all think that would have been a great match? I would have loved to see that happen, right? Right, but on to the next fan guy. We on the celebrity coattail. We're not on the coattail of women's boxing. We're not trying to see contenders step up and fight champions or the real two good contenders fighting, right? Because Hamadouche is a good contender, and she really should have. Really should be out here. Mayor will be, our Scarf One says Mayor will be Jonas unless there are biased judges. Y'all tell me how y'all think, how do y'all think Mayor is going to beat Natasha Jonas? Tell me how y'all think Mayor is going to beat Natasha Jonas. Women's Boxing said Mayor beat Farias. You know who else I would want to see Mayor fight? WBC, Women's Boxing Channel. Your girl who just fought McCaskill, Sandy Ryan. I would love to see Michaela Meyer versus Sandy Ryan. That'd be a pretty good fight. And they're at the weight, right? They're at the weight. They can make this thing happen, right? They're the fights that's interesting. My host says, what rankings list? Curious. And our Scarf One says, what about the drug test? What drug test y'all talking about? Women's Boxing Channel said, and I know I'm late on the thread. I'm just reading how we go, and we're having a conversation. I'm catching up. Women's Boxing Channel said, we're talking BoxRec ranking, talking fights. The rankings that are based on star ranking of the levels you beat instead of paying for them. Okay, Women's Boxing Channel also says, wasn't just wasn't just hands put on Chantel by Katie Taylor. It was hands, knees, bumps, a daisy. Well, like I said, right? Katie Taylor won that fight because she not only did she made it look like Chantel Cameron got beat up, and that was the only way she would have won. And I think that was great on her, mission accomplished, and her team to figure that out. Wonderful. We'll see what becomes of Chantel Cameron after this. I'd love for her to get into the mix and fight McCaskill again at 147. And then let's make it a real freak show. Freaking naughty time by Natasha Jonas, Michaela Meyer, Jessica McCaskill, Sandy Ryan again. Who else? Let's make it a round robin. 147 is looking real hot. And I like it. Arscoff one said headbutts too. Yeah, all of that stuff happens, headbutts and stuff in a fight. I've been headbutted in a fight, but ain't nothing like you getting headbutted in a fight and you look at the ref. You the one that got headbutted by the other fighter, and you look at the ref and the ref was like, yeah, bitch, I stand on that. She need to headbutt you 2 more times, right? You have to make adjustments in these fights, especially in women's boxing, because it ain't fair. I've said this before. When you're in the ring, you're not fighting one other person. Just know say you are gonna fight two people, not one, two. Okay, you fighting that other person, especially when you getting flued in. You're fighting the ref too, right? Because the ref's on the payroll. Yeah, yeah. Um, and so, um, let's see. Arscoff One says, I predicted Yoshida was going to beat Bridges, and I predict Bridges will never be a world champion again. You know what, Arscoff One? Ebony Bridges got one more trick than a motherfucking monkey out here. She's determined. She's not trying to be just a champion. She's trying to be a celebrity. So her ass will find a way. She gonna find a way, right? If she got to go up, go down, if she got to do whatever. I see that kind of hunger in Ebony Bridges. Now, in her, in her substance right now, in becoming and holding on to a title, no. And I've been said this. I said this a while back, and people came for me. Ebony Bridges was just a pretty face when she, surprised when she fought Shannon O'Connell and all of that stuff. But she was sub-10. I didn't see where she had enough experience. I didn't see where she had enough, like I said, substance to be a world champion. Right? Anybody can get a title. Y'all see that. Anybody, you can make a call, you could pay the money and get a title. Right? The belt don't make a champion. The champion makes the belt. Right? I was told this by my by the gladiators who brought me up. Right? I used to go to them and be crying, well, I'm a title, I'm not real, they're like, the hell you want that damn belt for? Right? You got to pay for that belt. You got to pay every month for that belt. Right? The belt don't make the champion. The champion makes the belt. So you can get a title, but to hold that title and make that title something, the receipt you make while you hold that motherfucking title, that's what makes that belt valuable. That's what makes that belt something. We get away from understanding what that climb is, right? Because all these bras are paying to play. They're buying the titles, right? But that's not what women's boxing is about. Women's boxing is about your name. Your name. Okay? So Women's Boxing Channel says Bob Garner exposed herself, not Mayer. Hmm. Baumgartner exposed herself, not Mayer. I really don't understand where you're talking about. Baumgartner did expose Michaela Meyer in their fight. Baumgartner exposed Michaela Meyer don't ain't got much heart. Yeah, she did, right? I'm not going to take everything away from that broad, right? She did get a bit too big for her britches, but I do love her heart. I like Alicia Baumgartner's heart. Okay, she stepped to that heifer. Okay, and she made it. She let it come down to it. She said, "Bitch, I'm a dog walk you. What you gonna do about it?" She beat Michaela Meyer before they got into the ring. Y'all saw everything leading up to it. It was wonderful. That is a big part of women's boxing. And I commend Alicia Baumgartner for that. Till she shit the bed. Okay? How you gonna put satin sheets down on the bed and decorative pillows and then shit in your bed, right? That's what she did with this girl. You pissed somebody off. You pissed somebody off. And then your piss came back dirty, and it will be very hard for Alicia Baumgartner to recover from that blow. I tell you that much, because everything she do from now on got going to have steroids written all over it. She might as well. I don't know what she could do to come back. I really don't know what she could do to come back. Y'all put in the comments. Y'all tell me what a fighter who got busted for, because this isn't men's boxing. Men get busted for steroids uh that's a Thursday, right? In women's boxing, that's a career ending blow, right? So y'all tell me, how do y'all think, if you were Alicia Baumgartner's team, if you were that fighter, tell me how you love boxing. This is something that you dreamed of and you wanted to do all your life, and this happens to you. How do you come back from that blow? How do you clean up your shitty bed? And Women's Boxing Channel says Hamadouche is retired, so how can she fight anyone else? You bet. Women's Boxing Channel, you always come with some, like, people come out of retirement, right? Just because somebody retired don't mean they dead. She ain't dead. She ain't in prison right now. She's just retired. She got to do is get back in the gym and renew her license. Stop. And I'm sure she probably retired because of that bullshit, right? Because after the fits she gave Michaela Meyer in the ring, trust me, they avoided that broad like she had COVID. Nobody was gonna fight Hamadouche um after how she dragged Michaela uh in their fight, right? And that's what happens, right? You get blackballed. You get put on the shelf when you're a tough fighter and you're a tough contender, right? They ignore you out of women's boxing. And it takes us in women's boxing, not the fan guys and fan gals, but the real people, right? Who love to see women behave badly, to keep these flames burning in these contenders, right? They put their blood, sweat, and tears. We want to see them again and again and again and again, right? Hamadouche could have went up in weight, right? But when you go through that, when you put your life, when that's your life's work, and you get a fucked up decision, or you get that fight, and then nobody touches you after. It's borderline. You can get suicidal. Yeah. Like we haven't even explored that part of it, right? Where, yeah, um, we've devoted, I mean, you hear it, it's romanticized by Amanda Serrano, where she ain't got no cell phone, she ain't got no boyfriend, she ain't never been to a party, she has done nothing but boxing. But imagine if you have made sacrifices as such. Let's say that you do that, but you're not a protected fighter. You don't have money behind you. You ain't kissing the right cousins behind the closed doors. And you just happen to be a tough broad that could fight your ass off. And you get that one shot. And then after you get that one shot, you're ignored. You don't get no opportunities. Nobody wants to mess with you. Your life is gone. No one talks about that on their boxing shows, do they? Right? Your life is gone. What do? You retire because you can't get no fights. You retire because they blackballed you. You're retired because not because you want to, right? But some of us, why not? Might as well have a baby. Might as well do something else in the event because, right? The women's boxing industry is riddled with predatory practices. And that's what happens, right? You take a woman's whole life away just because she's a good contender, just because she's actually real about hers, right? Um so let's see. Um R Scarf One says that's true. Mavia's last fight was against Mayer. Okay. Um Okay, I'm not sure. Y'all, you lost me on that one, R Scarf One. Women's Boxing Channel says breaking news. As you mentioned, Sandy Ryan, Eddie will be fighting Terry Harper. Eddie will be fighting Terry Harper next. Trust me. Harper coming down from 154 to get beat up. That's another one who ain't really got much heart. After her ass got knocked out by Alicia from Gardner, I think Alicia knocked the fire out of Terry Harper because did y'all see that fight? Tell me I wasn't the only person that wasted time out of my minutes out of my life that I had to get back. I had to do something wild and crazy to get that shit back, but I did, right? Because I sat and watched Harper versus Brekus. Did y'all see that? Tell me. And I, you know who I feel the most sorry for? The people that paid for that, right? Just go on and give me the money, right? If you paid for that, just go on and give me just. I mean, Sugar don't drink beer, right? But send Sugar something on my books, right? There's a beer me scan. I take that down because I don't drink no beer. Um, but yeah, I think Terry Harper versus Michaela Meyer would be a good match too. That would be a good match too. Sandy Ryan versus Terry Harper. Hmm. I think that's a good move on the chessboard. I think that's a good move on the chessboard. Women's Boxing Channel says Eddie wants Harper. I mean, Sandy's gonna try to fight her. Okay. So well, let's see how that goes. I hope they get it together. That's an interesting match. Our Scarf One says Bridges is 37 years old, and her opponents have been mediocre for the most part. She is past her prime, and she's not skilled enough. Hmm. I don't like when people say prime, right? But I do hear what you're saying, R Scarf One. At 37 years old, if your roots ain't too deep in this women's boxing game, chances are you're not gonna stay afloat. Right? I remember when I was 37, that was my peak time. But then COVID hit. So then Sugar, you know, boom, sidelined again. So, I didn't have my time to be great. But at 37, I was ready. Okay, I was ready. Right? That was my prime. 37 years old was my prime. Um, I I came I came off of that real nasty setup with McCaskill. I beat a young, prominent contender coming up in Camara, and I was ready for more smoke because I it clicked for me, and I had a great team by that time. I had it all together, but you know, the universe happens. The universe throws shit at you. Who knows, right? Who knows what's like? Here I am now on a mountain, um, on some 18 type shit. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, it is what it is. Um, but yeah, our scarf one, I'm kind of feeling you on that one. I think Bridges at 37 years old, without much skin in the game, she may want to just do it for the money right now. Probably move on some fighting. Her and Heather Hardy would be a good fight, right? Because she probably can do it for the money. Them two can get together. They're two hot boxes, two hot blonde, uh, white girls who behave badly. And I'm not throwing the race card in there or whatever, but like I said, that's a good little show right there. You know what I'm saying? Let's see who's the wild. Heather Harley, she's wild. She'll leak on it, and she'll fight any broad while she leaking. And Ebony, Ebony just still got something to prove. And she's at 37. She's out here being a sex pot. So let's see, right? But both are very, very hot women, very attractive in their own little way. So that would be a good matchup. Ebony Bridges versus um, Heather Hardy. Our Scarf One says Mayer and Baumgarten landed almost the same amount of punches. Two judges scored it 96-95 for Baumgartner. One judge scored it 97-93 for Mayer. We're not going to go through this again, our Scarf One, right? It's all about who who was putting the ass whooping down. You know what I'm saying? A punch, me throwing a nasty right hand on your ass, and you throwing just a regular right hand. It's not just a number now, right? We're not counting numbers. It's me putting that stank on this shit, right? And finding your jaw, finding your ribs with this shit. That's what makes the difference in the judging and the numbers, right? And we don't want to do no CompuBox bullshit, right? An ass whooping is an ass whooping. Believe your eyes. You can trust and believe your eyes. God made them. Trust these. Um, the women's boxing says Hamadou's retired because she got a good promotion in the French police and is concentrating on her career now. She has no intention of ever returning. Well, that's good. But if Hamadouche won, do you think she would have turned in all of that shit and became a police officer? No, she would have still been whooping ass out here as a champion, as a big time contender. Trust me, the phone stopped ringing. So she became more of a police officer than a fighter. That's how that works. Our Scarf One also says Hamadouche retired due to eye injury. She's never coming back. Oh, so she got a torn retina or something like that. Now that shit right there will keep you out. That'll keep you out. That'll make you not come back. All right. So yeah, if your eyes, if you got a lot of fighters are out of the running because of that. Women's Boxing Channel says that's right. She got an eye injury, but she ain't coming back due to her policing career. She said she didn't have a detached retina. I'm pretty sure. Our Scarf One says, according to ESPN article, the reason for retirement was the eye. See, here y'all go, believing all of the. Do y'all know that these articles, some of these articles are, they're kind of made up too, are kind of far-fetched. Let me tell you the reality of that situation, right? She might have gotten an eye injury, and that shit'll take you out. And she got a promotion as a police officer. So y'all both may be right, and both of those things might have happened, right? And then she said she ain't coming back. Women's Boxing said she ain't coming back. She got promoted and she's in a relationship. But hey, listen. She says she ain't coming back. But you know what? Maybe if they're right, if somebody sent her the right contract and the right amount of zeros is on that bitch, see how fast she come back. Arscoff One says, I agree that some women can still fight at a high level in their late 30s, but it's not typical. Delphine Pursoon is one example of someone who can still do it at 38. Do a little, Arscoff One, I need you to do a little bit more homework, a little bit more research, right? You had Alicia Ashley. You got Chevelle Halbach still out here. You got Marcela Acuna. You got many, many bad crones out here that will whoop any ass and will still fight. It's just that it's very hard to get your medical done. It's very hard they make it hard for an old crone to fight. Like Layla McCarter, who they're avoiding like the plague. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, what they want is what they want is a lot of the monsters to age out. They're looking for the monsters, the real baddies, the real ones that we need to see. The real ones who have made a legacy and a name for themselves. They want to skip over their heads by using time for them to age out so they don't have to fight them, right? Punk shit like that. Me, I'm a young fighter coming up. I would take my chance on an old legend. I would, because guess what? I could bounce back. And ain't no harm in being beat by a legend, right? There's really no harm in that. Women's Boxing Channel says the most common age for a female fighter has been 35 to 37. Women's Boxing Channel says 35 to 37 as a sitting world title holder. I did a lot of research on that one. And well, instead of your damn research, what you need to do is watch one of the Sugar show episode when I told you. When I told you, ain't no research. I told you that, right? As a pugilist, someone who been in the game, seen it, been there, done that. A woman's peak, a female fighter's peak, is between the age of 33 up to about 39. From 33 to 39. And I'm giving it a larger window than I did on the show that I did about women fighters peaking at a later age as opposed to male fighters who peak early and decline in their later years, right? Our Scarf One says most of the pound for pound are in their late 20s, early 30s. There are some world champs in their late 30s and very few in their early 40s, right? The pound for pound list is bought. Throw the whole shit away. Throw the whole list away. That's bought. Our Scarf One says, I like Halbach as a boxer, but she's inactive. I wonder why. McCarter is also inactive. I wonder why. Why? I'll tell you why, right? I mean, go, y'all. Brooke be having these fighters on their show. Nobody will fight them. Nobody will fight. Nobody will fight the older fighters. I'm referring to BoxRec pound for pound, not offend. Oh, say our Scarf One says you're so. Since you're referring to BoxRec pound for pound, and you just said this, Halbach is inactive and McCarter is inactive, and these are pound for pound women who have earned legendary status in women's boxing. They put their time and they work in, and they're inactive because nobody will fight them. Right? Now let's talk. These young wet-nosed bitches out here, these so-called champion broads, don't even want to put their toe in that pool of fire because they know that these old crones got some deep roots, and they're going to have to try. When they get in the ring with these broads, they really got to try. It's not just about outrunning the clock at 2 minutes and being in shape for that sprint. It's about having a head on your shoulders and really beating a bitch, a crone, right? Women's Boxing says, I'm talking about published world champion ages. Yeah, we publish all you want. My show is published out here. You know what I'm saying? It's published. Hey, guys in the background, don't y'all gotta publish my episode? Yeah. Sugar show, like, Sugar is legit. It's legit. You ain't got to do no research. Right now, if you want to know the numbers and whatever fluff that they put out there, go on and do that. You want to be busy. But to save you time, I'll tell you, because I know, right? And I read between all the lines because I have not said no lie since the Natalie Sugar Brown show started. I ain't said a lie. I've told y'all 100 what's happening out here. I've told y'all everything without me without me being a fan gal or a fanboy out here because I don't need no new friends. I've earned them throughout my career and my life. So you're getting a hard fought, pure, 100% truth and perspective from this Sugar show. Our Scarf One says, I know they're being even at loss. She is still legit top 10 super middle. Yeah. Let me tell you something about Olivia Garula, okay? Olivia Garula is, I want to say this. Olivia Garula has made her name because she was the type of broad who would fight anybody. She still will. She will fight anybody. Her ass got smooth knocked the frick out by Jelena Marjanovic, one of the sweetest left hooks in women's boxing that I ever saw. Right? I'll give that to Jelena. That was a good KO by Olivia Garula. But that's just that. Olivia Garula is known that she will fight anybody. Olivia Garula was never a high end contender. We want to make a difference. I respect that broad because, like I said, you got to. She give me like the vibes like a Heather Hardy. She'll get in there and fight anybody, right? But she gonna win, and she gonna put up a good ass fight though. Women's Boxing says Sandy Ryan called out Layla McCarter. Her manager didn't accept the challenge. I spoke to him and said it was refused because of money. Bullshit. He didn't want it, and that's what happened. Really now? What was the money? I want to know, like, because y'all are calling out Layla McCarter. Layla McCarter's name is very valuable, right? So for a wet nose like Sandy Ryan to call out Layla McCarter, I mean, there is value behind the name Layla McCarter on your receipt. How much were y'all trying to pay Layla McCarter to fight Sandy Ryan? And what kind of fight was this? Right? Was this a championship fight? Was this a long, what kind of fight was this? Right? Because you can't, a fight is a fight, ain't a fight. Right? If you're gonna call out a Layla McCarter, you gotta call it out right. You gotta build the fight. Sandy, your girl Sandy Ryan, Women's Boxing Channel, I have to tell you this. Your girl Sandy Ryan is mad disrespectful, right? And the stuff that she does, the disrespect, I think it's because she's young, right? So she does it in that way, but her disrespectful way, or her disrespectful disposition works against her with shit like this, right? If you're gonna call out Layla McCarter, you got to call, or if you're gonna call out a legend, you got to do it with some humility, or you got to do it like how you see, like how Chantel Cameron. I mean, I wouldn't call Melissa Hernandez a legend, but Melissa Hernandez is a women's boxing's great. Okay. Um, Chantel Cameron made her name from beating up a old and stale Melissa Hernandez. But how they pulled that, how they lured that, that old lion or lioness out the den was how they got the fight. You know what I'm saying? Sandy Ryan out here beating her chest and all of this shit right here, girl. All that's going to get you is all that's going to get you is a bigger ticket, right? Oh, bitch, you doing all that? Okay, well, how much money you got? You want my name? You want my name? I don't need, like, Layla McCarter don't need a fight with Sandy Ryan, right? But Sandy Ryan would need a fight with Layla McCarter to make a name for herself. That would have certainly helped her. You know what I'm saying? Um, Women's Boxing Channel says she had the opportunity and refused the call out fact. If she was that good, she she now would nowadays she would have taken it, and by now would be up there challenging McCaskill, Jonas Mayer, etc. No, that's not how it goes, boo boo. They would have continued to stay away from Layla McCarter, like she had the COVID-19. Yeah. Why? Because I don't know, like, Layla McCarter is one of those fighters where she not only going to beat you up, she going to embarrass you. She going to expose you. You know what I'm saying? So they would have kept they would have kept they would have kept what you call it they would have kept away from Sandy Ryan. And but yet Sandy if she beat Sandy Ryan, it would have just been like, okay, she just beat Sandy Ryan. It wouldn't have put her, if you think you're the only one who thinks Sandy Ryan is as great as she is, Women's Boxing Channel right now, to be honest, right? Because if that was the case, it would be like they wouldn't have did what they did to her against Jessica McCaskill. You know what I'm saying? It wouldn't have went down like that. So Sandy needs a little bit more in coming up right? She has great potential. She can fight. She needs some seasoning, but you know what I'm saying? The way she's going about it, mm-mm. Um, Women's Boxing Channel says Sandy called McCarter in her fourth fight, but McCarter refused. So Ryan fought Farias instead and won the WBC International instead. Okay, so good. Sandy fought Jessica Farias and beat her. And that was what the second time, right? Because Farias had beat Sandy Ryan the first time, right? So Farias was still, out there in the sauce and the mix or whatever. Farias' name on her resume or on her receipt, pretty good. But Layla McCarter's name goes deeper than Farias's name, right? That Layla McCarter's name, she has made a name for herself in the history of women's boxing. She's made a name. Farias has been a champion, but she hasn't made a name for herself, so to speak. Um, Women's Boxing Channel says, BS Sugar. You said 10 minutes ago how cool it is for women to have beefy weigh-ins. Not you calling Ryan down for doing exactly that. Make your mind up, girl. First of all, I ain't your girl. I ain't nobody's girl, right? I'm Sugar, right? I'm a woman talking to you about women's boxing. And my mind is made up about your girl, right? And once she starts acting like a woman who behaves badly out here, then she can get some props and kudos out here in these streets, right? But for now, I mean, wasn't she just on the internet after she fought McCaskill crying, talking about, oh, my one shot and crying, right? We don't do that. We don't cry on the internet. We put our big girl panties on. We suck the shit up and we get back in the lab, get back in the kitchen, right? Making hot knuckle sandwiches. You see what I'm saying? And stuff like that. You can't be like that out here, right? It's not good for business. So let me see. Gang his mother puts NIGGER and emoji out here. Oh shit, what does that spell? Punk ass uh bitch. That's what that spells, right? Right? Internet gangster. That's what that spells, right? Because, and you must be like, to do some shit like this, you must be what, in like elementary school or some shit like that. You must have got knocked upside your head, right? And you're not even about, like, what are you? What, like, for you to do some stuff like that? You think that's gonna hurt anybody out here that you spelled the N word on my show? Huh? Is that all you got? Huh? Right? Let's see you do it here. Let's see you do it. Let's see you go out on the corner where you at and do it. Right? Make a show out of that. Right? Because we don't take that kind of disrespect no more out here. You know that, right? You'll get caps. You'll get hot steel, right? Slugs up in your ass for doing that to the right one, right? So find the right one and get off my show with this bullshit, because this right here ain't phasing nobody. You could barely spell the damn word. So Women's Boxing Channel says, stop it. Ryan was punked out of an undisputed challenge because IBF vacated McCaskill's belt as Boxer paid tons for it so Jonas could fight for it. Then Ryan was robbed badly versus McCaskill. Boo-hoo! Boo-hoo. You see what I'm saying? You see how much passion you have behind that? But to be honest, women, we've been done, better has been done worse out here. Better fighters have been done worse. So essentially, nobody really cares. And it's tough for me to say that because I want people to care. It was terrible what happened to her, but she also gave the fight away too, right? She was hurting. She almost folded McCaskill, right? But because, you know, y'all need to have it, y'all don't have it figured out. Like y'all don't have seasoned people running that show. She is where she is right now. She on the side of the road trying to hitchhike it to another championship. Gigi comes in talking about you two fine to fight. What? You should have seen me when you think I'm fine now? I was fine back when I was fighting. Yes, sir, or yes, ma'am. Whoever you are out here, thank you for that compliment. I really appreciate that, right? Fighting for over 20 years and I'm still fine, huh? Fine as frog hair. Um, Women's boxing channels, we have Ring, IBO, WA, WBC, WBO, ACD, 123 now, but she's been done by the Florida Athletic Commission. Yeah. That's what I'm saying, Women's Boxing Channel. Y'all got it all wrong. You got it all wrong. You think women's boxing is numbers that you put in and then you get the result or whatever. It doesn't happen. You got to, her ass knew what she signed up to do, didn't she? Her ass knew that she had to get on the plane and flew to Jessica McCaskill's country, her land, and fight her. So what do you think? You think a decision? You think she was going to win by decision? Right? I said you should have had your girl watch the show because I said if you're going to do some shit, you better kill the queen. Right? If she didn't stop Jessica McCaskill, she won't go and win. Right? Now, Yoshido or whatever this one right here that just beat Ebony Bridges, I mean, looked like she got some paper behind her too, right? She got the stars sometimes just align for some people. But you see a fighter like Jessica McCaskill that been getting gifts for almost 8 years now in her fights. You thought Sandy Ryan was going to fly over jump the pond, come over here and beat that broad by a decision? Get real. Get all the way real, right? She should have put an ass whooping down on McCaskill. She could have. Sandy, like I said, Sandy Ryan is a talented fighter, but she ain't got no seasoning, right? She came to Florida. She could have came early, right? Hell, she could have flew. There's so many. There's so many fighters or so many people that would have helped her, seasoned her up, right? Like I said, you got Laura Ramsey, female fighter, old school fan that help in the training. You got fighters that help women like Nate Campbell over there. This is Florida, right? You got Tierra Brown people them down there now, right? I think you know who's about to start getting back in the ring? Melissa St. Ville, and guess where her ass is at down in Florida? In Tierra Brown camp. You know what I'm saying? You got to know where to go and you got to be respectful of this game. You can't think you just going to jump in and run off at your mouth and you got this shit figured out and you can just come beat people. It doesn't work like that. Gigi says, if Clarissa looked like you, she would be. You should have seen Sugar when Sugar was the Clarissa at one time. Yeah, yeah, right. But then life happened, right? Yeah, I was a top amateur. Yeah, world rated, all of that stuff, right? But the timing on it, right? Speaking of Clarissa, y'all heard and seen what happened out here? Lovely assistant, I know we got an image about that. And thank you, Gigi. Talking about if Clarissa looked like you, she would be a superstar. I wish I would. What a time to be a fighter, right? I wish I was a fighter now. I would be a superstar. I certainly would. I know it. I know it. Um, I ain't making that shit up neither. I know it. Women's Boxing Channel says, I ain't used no N word as you put it. That's disgraceful. Women's Boxing Channel, see, why you owning shit that's not you? Some and I'm gonna say that the politically incorrect retard signed in talking about I won't even say their name and spelt the word like they was doing something, like somebody was gonna be scared or hurt. Ooh, bitch, please. Listen, you lucky this my show, right? Who, you that spelled that word? You that your mom thought she was passing the shit and then she looked, I had this fucker and was stuck with you until now and you still living? You still a burden on society? You that chimed into my show and thought you was special because you spelled the word? I tell you, jokes are really funny, especially when they got two arms and legs and they start spelling shit. Now, Women's Boxing Channel, that wasn't to you. You are a respectable human being. You're not you're not a shameful thing that somebody did and now they're human being. Can you imagine? Like somebody like that, it had to be like I'm a mother. You know what I'm saying? And if my child did some shit like that, I would have wished that I swallowed that. You know what I'm saying? You can't be as you can't nobody be proud of you. If you would come on somebody's show and do something like that, right? You haven't done shit in your life for anybody to be proud of or for anybody to be want to be associated with you. For you to do something like that, right? Because for me in my mind, right? For me in my mind, I I can't I wouldn't be thinking to do that because you know what I'm saying? I got some pride about myself. You know what I'm saying? I got pride about, but for somebody to do that, they've been told all their life by the people who's supposed to be around them and supposed to love them that they're a mistake. Can you spell that? Spell that shit. That's probably your name. You made up that other name. Your mom named you. She shitted you out her ass and then named you mistake. But I digress. Let's talk about this picture right here. Um, oh, Women's Boxing Channel said, then I'm sorry. That blew my world out of a then I'm sorry that blew my world out for a moment, sugar. I can't take that stuff. World's got too much of it. That's what I'm saying. But you know what? It's not too much of it because this is cyberspace, right? So people like that who you can't get to, they got a lot of courage. They got a lot of courage. I'm up on a mountain doing tactical training because we wanna sort people like that out. You know what I'm saying? We find mofos that think that they can hide behind screens and terrorize and abuse people, right? And we deal with them. So look at this. Look at this picture now. Did y'all hear what happened with Clarissa? So supposedly Clarissa got dropped by a dude she was sparring with while she was training or in her camp or something like that. This is her throwing the punch. Now, the reason why this image is up here is this. I already said this in my previous episodes about women boxing versus males in boxing, or women in boxing, right? You got to know what you're dealing with, right? And a lot of these broads who want to teeter the line and think that they can go in there and fight men, they haven't gotten their shit rocked well enough to respect the fact that a man's a man. You know what I'm saying? Now, I have dropped some men, but I've been rocked by some men, right? Rocked by some men, not in the point, not like how what happened where Clarissa got hurt, got sat on her ass. But I've gotten in the ring where some men have shown me I can hurt you, right? I can hurt you. And I've respected that, right? And we can still get what we need out of the session, right? Because it's sparring and everybody can use sparring. Okay. But if you look in the picture, that bitch got her whole, like, she put her whole back into that shit. Like, she got, like, she trying to put ancestors behind that punch, right? And he dropping his shit too. So when it gets to that level, right, if your corner doesn't see where, all right, we've got to protect our interests. My fighter needs to, I gotta get my fighter out of this situation, right? If your corner ain't took you out of that, or haven't stopped it, or ain't nobody ran in, then you gotta start second guessing, right? And if the guy, like this guy is in there, if now he's starting to drop some heavy shit, right? Somebody need to make sense out of the situation, because now they're fighting. This is not sparring anymore. They're fighting, right? And it got to this point because somebody might have hurt somebody might have swung too hard, and the intensity slowly elevated to this. And nobody was around who knew better, who understands what this shit can mean, right? And Clarissa ended up on her ass. Lovely assistant, do we have any other picture? You have any other? While you right, so you see he landed the shot. Do you see that? That's Clarissa Shields in them blue tights right there, and it's the picture is blurry. Clarissa's soul done left her body for a little bit. Yeah, she limp. She limping that bitch, right? Her legs are gone from under her, right? Now, let's talk. Oh, Women's Boxing Channel says, there are two arguments going on about Glovegate. She'll say he took padding out. He says, BS, because her coach checked the gloves after. It's a mess, to be honest. Arscoff One says, Clarissa is calling out Keith Thurman. She claims she's the best boxer, male or female, past or present, except for Muhammad Ali. And Women's Boxing Channel comes back and said, he was a bum for posting that video too. Now let's talk, okay? I hear what all of y'all are saying about this, okay? The thing about this is, and I'm gonna read between the lines for this whole situation for you guys, okay? So what if he took the padding out the gloves? Bitch, you felt that the Clarissa, you felt that the gloves wasn't padded. If he took the padding out the gloves, right? You had that whole headgear on, and he was laying that leather on your ass, so you knew. And your ass still kept going, didn't you? Right? So, hey, uh, you got what you got. This is what I'm talking about with wearing big girl panties, right? Instead of now saying, boom, oh shoot, that first shot was, hey, y'all check his gloves when you go back to the corner. You sitting there like you tough, right? So you get what tough people get. This is what I'm talking about, right? So I don't care. Doesn't matter at this point if padding was took out of gloves, right? Because you're supposed to be the greatest pound for pound. You're supposed to know all this shit. You come on the internet, you come on social media every day talking about how good you are and what you know, right? So you're supposed to know what's good for you. And you're supposed to be able to speak up for yourself. And this is something that I talked about in previous sugar shows, right? Where as a woman boxer, this is the struggle, right? You do get in there. We have gotten in there. I used to get in there with men who now, because you got them with a good shot, they must defend their manhood and all the men in the world by hurting me, right? And I was the one that had to then, or my corner had to be the one. And sometimes my corner wasn't there for me. So I had to be the one to say, look, bruh, the fuck are you doing? You swinging too hard up in this bitch. We're sparring, right? This ain't a championship fight. And listen, and if you want to fight, I got somebody that'll tag team in and we'll both whoop your ass, right? You got to be the one to speak up for yourself. You got to know that you're not King Kong. You can't beat everybody. And that's what Clarissa Shields, the universe is going to give you a slice of that humble pie, right? Now everybody was sitting there talking about, oh my gosh, Clarissa Shields got dropped. She got dropped by a man. Clarissa Shields will get dropped by a broad. And she has been dropped by a broad. But this shit right here is another message, right? This ain't even Keith Thurman. This ain't even Keith Thurman. This broad is not, I mean, this dude is not even in championship shape. And I suppose if I was Keith Thurman and I got called out by Clarissa Shields, who's proclaiming to be the world beater that she is, I would show up in tip top shape because she gonna have to prove that shit with me. You know what I mean? That's what I'm talking about. So, the whole padding, taking the padding out the gloves, girl, that's a sorry excuse for you not putting your big girl panties on. Okay? That's number one. Number two, you sure them people your friends, Clarissa? They were watching the sparring the whole time. Nobody, nobody checked anything, right? That's a huge message for her. And I hope she sees that, right? I've experienced it myself where you think your team is on your team, but your team ain't on your team. They're on their team, right? They in it for themselves. They in it just to be seen with you. They in it for whatever clout they can get by hanging around you, right? Okay, so Clarissa really needs to think about who, you know, who's handling her, who's in her corner right now. Another point I wanted to bring up, the fact that this was leaked also should let her know that, you know what, she got to op in her camp, right? Because this shouldn't have left the gym if that's the case, right? And this guy who dropped her, and he's speaking up about it, that this goes to show you that he didn't show up. He really didn't show up to get sparring from Clarissa Shields. He didn't show up to help Clarissa Shields. He showed up to do this to her, right? He showed up to do this to her. So blurring the lines, you guys, right? Male versus female. It's a messy situation and nobody wins. Nobody, right? Because Claressa Shields, Lovely Assistant, do we have any more images? Do we? Let me know. When you get dropped like this, whether it be in sparring or in a real fight, that's a concussion. Your brain stopped working for a while, right? You need to sit your ass out for a little bit, right? So she just got hurt. Claressa Shields just got hurt in this situation here, right? So the people around her would want to protect their investment. Lovely Assistant, come on now, stay up with me. Do we have any other images or not? Let me know. All right, so we got no more pics. Okay. So, all right, so we're going to show this one here, okay? The fact that her knees went weak under her, okay, and our Scarf One says the video is on YouTube. When your legs go from under you and you drop like that, that's concussed. You got a concussion, okay? You're hurt, all right? Now, for him to show up and for them to be banging each other out like that where Claressa gets hurt, I mean, does he gain anything from that? You guys tell me. Did Claressa gain anything from that? You guys tell me, right? This whole sparring session right here, was it an environment for learning? Was it an environment for growth? Right? And so this is what happens because you have stumble bums that wake up one day and say, guess what? I think I'm gonna be a boxing trainer. Yeah, I'm tough. Yeah. I know about this tough dumb shit. I'm gonna go do this tough dumb shit over there. And then people buy into it, and this is what happens. If there was any professional around, it wouldn't have gotten to this. If there was anybody that knew anything about boxing, it wouldn't have gotten to this. Right? I mean, they could have called me. Call your Suge. Girl, Claressa, call Suge. Because I got your back. I ain't got nothing to, listen, I'm all right. I'm all right. I ain't got nothing to gain except for knowing that I got a fellow female fighter's back, female boxer's back. I'm not out here for the clout. I'm not out here for the likes. I mean, I love the likes. I love y'all coming in, chiming in, and being present with me. You know what I'm saying? But Sugar's out here for more than that because I've bled in there. I've lost in there. I've won in there. I've become who I am in there. This is more, it was more to me than a check, even though I got some good ones, right? I got some good purses, but it was more to that, right? And we need safe environments for learning, environments that help and promote respect in order for any of it to grow. Because now you're going, I mean, I'm sure if this happened to our pound for pound what do you think's happening for women who are not protected out here? What do you think's happening to them? And these are the things that you have to think about, right? When you want to be a woman boxer, these are the things that you have to think about out there. It's not as glamorous as people may think. You have to be smart. You have to be strong. You have to have heart. You have to be truthful. You have to have grit. You got to have fight in you. to come out of this whole thing with your faculties and with lessons that you can teach inside and outside the ring. And that, I mean, I'm speaking because that's my journey. That's the road I've traveled, right? So if this ain't a lesson to Clarissa, the universe been going before you were born and it'll keep going after. So your ass will learn, right? Um, I'm going to wrap it up, you guys. I'm going to wrap it up. Because it's a long night and we got work tomorrow up here in the mountains. We got some we out there in the we out there in the frost tomorrow. So I gotta get my mind right and get my body ready and get all rested up for that kind of hard training. But thank you guys so much for showing up. It's always a party when we link up. You know, I'm gonna shout out everybody that showed up to the party tonight. So thank you to my host. Thank you to Women's Boxing Channel for getting in here. All right. Thank you to my Talk and Fight guys for making this thing happen on the mountain. Okay. Thank you, R Scarf One, for chiming in. Thank you, Jibu or Gibu, GEBBU. Okay. Thank you for JD Smith, Digi Artist, for showing up tonight. Okay. What else we had? I don't want to forget nobody. Let's see. I'm just scrolling through. So we had a nice little conversation tonight. Y'all tell me what you think. Before somebody tried to flop the show, but you can never flop my show. Women's Boxing Channel. Once again, Gigi coming in talking about you two find the fight. I'm gonna go to sleep on that one. Thank you. And yes, if Clarissa Shields looked like me, she would be a superstar. Right? Because listen, I'm selling soap, I'm selling makeup, I'm selling everything. It's a business. You want to be a female fighter out here, you gotta hustle hard. You gotta show your marketability. You gotta connect with other women out here, right? I'll be selling deodorant, I'll be doing everything like that, right? So yeah. It's all marketability. Like I said, it's a party when we link up. Like, subscribe, and share this sugar, y'all. Like, subscribe, and share this sugar. Leave comments down and below. Let me know what you think about our conversations, about tonight's conversation. We've talked about a lot of things, and I'd love to hear what you got to say or what you think about these topics that we visit on Wednesday nights at or around 7:30 or later. You know what I'm saying? Where we come on this platform and talk about women's boxing. We talk about the true, right? Because I'm not new to this. I'm true to this. I'm not trying to, like I said, I'm not trying to make no friends. Everybody who's come on this show come because they want to. I've had historians. I've had a couple world champions. I've had I've had them all come on this show because they mess with sugar. They know sugar gives it to you without the sugar coating. Real, okay? And on that note, um, until next week, I may not be on the mountain, but I'm gonna chime in again. You guys, let me know what y'all want to talk about. Leave something in the comments. Let me know what you thinking. Let me know what you want to hear about this women's boxing game. Y'all don't ask no questions, right? Ask questions. Ask about the lifestyle of a woman boxer, right? I'm sorry. Let me just pick this up. You know what I'm saying? Um, it's not about what do you eat for lunch or whatever, but like we live life, right? Having to fight, going through divorce, having to fight with heartbreak, right? Having to go through this thing and act like you're the champ when your life is in freaking shambles, and still triumphing and becoming the champion woman that we see, right? A lot of us live that life, right? You could ask, you could come on Suge Show and ask, Suge, right? Because I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you. You may have to read the book about some of these things when book time come. Y'all better buy my book. But until now, while you got Sugar live, right, and while you got this comment box, ask, okay? Till next Wednesday, okay? Y'all take care of yourselves, okay? And I look forward to the next party when we link up. But until then, bye bye.